The following program, though incredibly nerdy, is intended for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised, and you probably shouldn't watch if you're an overly sensitive pussy.
Why, hello there, and welcome on into the beautiful world of nerd-venging. Let these beats run over your body. Also, we did make some changes to the setup. It's gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird. Okay, now I'll show you in just a second. Okay, I think this is good, but it is different. It's a different kind of camera angle. It's a different kind of thing going on. There's different colors. It's different. So let's just see. Let's just see what you guys think. Let's see what you think. Let's see. I wanted to have a desk so I could lean on it and write stuff down and stuff. What do you think? What do you think? Do I feel too far away? Chat! The Doom statue saves it? What the hell? I mean, it's a good statue. There's a lion there too that you missed, but yeah. Is this the coffee can? I mean, you can see the coffee, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, Jay Leno. I don't know about that. Feels like a live nerdy news rundown. There you go. Are you feeling it, Mr. Krabs? Also has the audio. Maybe small zoom. Maybe a little closer. Well, I'm thinking I actually might move this a little closer to the camera. But we'll deal with it today. I'm in a job interview. Flip the live on, turn it up so she can hear, the interviewer or whatever can hear, because we're officially interviewing as a team now. Okay? So get it out. Get the audio going. Also, what the hell? Am I hearing this song twice? Or am I crazy? Sorry, hang on. I think we're okay. I think we're only hearing it once. You like the desk? Audio bless? What does that mean? What does that mean? Whoa, this is too front and confrontational for me. You did bad. That's right, you did it. See, I can kind of like come over the desk now. The audio's a little low. What? Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Should be good. Should be good. Turn the volume up on or 1 or 2. Is this an HR meeting? Yeah. What would you say you do here, chat? Can we start with that? What would you say you even do here? Write me up, interview guy? I will write you up, brother. I'm fucking you specifically. Where's my pen? Where's my pen? All right. Anyway, we'll tweak it. We'll see. I don't know. I kind of like it. Maybe I'll get a little closer. We'll figure it out. I like the desk. I don't know. We're switching it up. We're changing it up a little bit. Zach says we're here to fuck Miss Lady. X-Men 97 is peak. Love the setup, brother. Happy Wednesday, Nerd Bench. Thank you so much. Yeah, so speaking of that, I actually do want to do a watch party for X-Men 97 tonight. That's the plan. Tonight we have topics to get into. There's some rumors about magic and Anna Taylor-Joy perhaps reprising, I guess, returning to her role as Magic. That might be real, and that's cool. There's some other little things that are going on with the X-Men that I want to talk about. That'll be cool. And then we got to talk about Boris and Doctor Strange and Avengers Doomsday and rumors. And actually, I think the Boris thing's kind of interesting, man. We'll get into that heavily because I have a lot I want to say about Boris. And then there's some Andrew Garfield stuff. And then yeah, I want to talk about Jean Grey. Sadie Sinks Jean Grey. I have a crazy theory about Sadie Sinks Jean Grey. So that's what's on the agenda for today. But then tonight at 7:30, I would like to do a watch party for X-Men 97, man. Which means we'll have to skip the Warhammer Wednesday stream today. I know everyone will be really mad about that. But X-Men 97, dropping 3 episodes, July 1st. People are saying it's really good. I'm excited, man. I want to check it out. So we'll do that tonight at 7:30. Zach, thank you for the gifted membership. Yeah, already got that. What would you say James Gunn does? Supervising? James, what would you say you do here? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, obviously Supergirl's still in theaters until they put it on streaming next week. Just kidding, but maybe not. Yeah, I don't know if I have too much more to say about Supergirl or James Gunn, dude. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Shit sucks. He sucks. Supergirl sucks. They should fire him. That's about it. That's about all I got to say. James gone? Maybe, yeah. Your setup is just missing an Apocalypse figure in celebration of X-Men 97. Maybe I should get an Apocalypse figure, huh? I got some other things I was thinking about putting up on the desk. Could be cool. We could start to have a little pile of cool shit. Like I had this Berserk statue. You know, little Guts and Doom next to each other. I think it works. James smells his own farts. Yeah, that's true. Jackman working out on Insta today. Oh yeah, is he? That's good. You know, I kind of think Jackman and some of these other actors are not going to do too much in. Oh, you know what? One thing we got to adjust. Hey, let's do this real quick. In Doomsday, I would expect they're going to get a lot more to do in Secret Wars. However, if the rumors are true about a third Secret Wars or a second Secret Wars movie or a third Avengers movie with the Russos, then, bro, like, we're going to get a lot with those other people as well, including Jackman. So I wonder if that's a part of the incentive as well. You know, if everybody's having a good time and they think they can do it, fuck it. Let's do it. Also, chat, do you remember who was the first person that brought that up as a rumor? Do you remember? Because I remember that Jeff Snyder, John Campy, and some others shot that shit down hard. But I don't even remember where the rumor came from. Do you guys remember? All right, we got to look at this screen because I'm sure this is going to be way the fuck off. So hang on now. Go away. Oh, it's actually not too bad. I gotta bloated myself up a bit. That probably works. That probably works there. Yeah, actually doesn't look too bad there. Okay, give me 1 second here. 1 second, I'll be right back. Hang on. Hang on now. Apparently it is a scorcher out there too. Really, really hot. Hot as balls in America. I don't know about other places. I assume you guys are going to be hot too. Oh no, the freaking... Oh, this is one thing I got to fix is the focus. Anytime I get up... You better chat. You better chat, yeah? Yeah, it's not perfect. We still got some things to figure out here, but it is what it is. Oh, are you guys dying of heat where you are at in the world? Chat. Set the chair, set the focus on the chair. That's what I just did. Duh. That's what I just did. Michigan is very hot. Ooh. Last day of work for 7 days. Baby, 6 years of nerd venging and continuing. Hell yeah. You got 7 days off? That's wild. What are you going to do? What are you going to do with yourself? Subscribe and become a nerd venture. It'll make your life about 1.5 times better. Yeah, or more than that. 1.5, we got to get those numbers up. Results may vary. Don't sue me, but I'm pretty sure it's at least twice as good. Chat, how much better did your life get when you became a nerd venture? Be honest. Is it at least twice as good? Or is it only 1.5 times as good? Corny Cobb, interesting name, says, is it possible that Dr. Doom has possessed any of the Infinity Stones for his magic? The red magic, reality stone, green magic, time stone. I'm not sure, man. Maybe. I mean, I would assume if he's really, gone around the multiverse in the way that we think, he's probably experienced the Infinity Stones at the very least. So, yeah, maybe. That is kind of interesting. I wonder if the Infinity Stones will play any part in these stories at all. In the Hickman run with the time runs out thing that led into Doomsday, the stones are used at one point when the Illuminati is trying to stop an incursion, and they actually make Steve Rogers use it, and it buys them a little bit of time, but it doesn't work, and it breaks the stones. Actually, it's kind of wild. So then they do pop up again, actually, on Battleworld. T'Challa uses them and wields the gauntlet, and they have to find a section of land on Battleworld that represents 616 to be able to use it. I don't know. I don't know if they'll do anything with it. After Loki and WandaVision, there were some rumors of this theory called the Infinity Being theory, where it was thought that maybe certain beings in the Marvel Cinematic Universe were becoming or were like an embodiment of the singularity energy, if that makes sense. Oh, hell yeah. I was thinking about 6 distinct world thing. Do you think that Doom's experiment happened in his original universe and sent him into the multiverse? I think something like that for sure. It is kind of interesting, the stuff that we think we know about the movie and the stuff we don't know about it. I still try to fit some of it together, and I come up short sometimes. I'm like, I don't know how that'll work exactly. But I think that's probably good. Maybe we'll do a whole video or a whole stream where we're like, okay, here's what we think we know. Here's what we think we know. Maybe like another kind of whiteboard of trying to figure out the plot or whatnot. Maybe that could be useful. How will they make Secret Wars without the Cosmic Cube? Well, I think Loki, in a sense, is replacing the power of the Beyonder, if that's what you mean. Now, in the original version, it's like cosmic cubies, and actually the Beyonder himself, I think, is like, don't they reveal him to be a sentient cosmic cube? Like, am I crazy, or is he like a sentient cosmic cube at one point? So I don't think you really need a cosmic cube. You need outer-versal power, and it just seems like the Loki thing will be that, like, what, Doom getting to Loki will like complete his fucking puzzle or whatever. Like, that's like the last piece. It's almost like you could think of it as like that's the last stone he needs to get to complete the gauntlet or something like that. So that's why I want to know, like, are we going to watch the movie and know Strange is Boris? Yeah, we'll get into that. I'm excited to talk about the Boris stuff. Boris is interesting. I heard some stuff about this Boris guy in the movie a long time ago, so I kind of want to get into that as well. Den of MacGuffins? Yeah, there's probably a few MacGuffins, man. I'm going to be honest. There's probably a couple of MacGuffins. We're probably looking at a few. Anything new for Gambit in Doomsday, except for the Gambit versus Shang-Chi thing? No, nothing that I've heard. Nothing. Apparently the fight's really cool. Chan was really hyped up. I don't know. Some of you guys probably remember this. Very early on in shooting, it almost felt like he was one of the only people talking about the whole thing and the process. Boris the animal? Exactly, dude. And I know that he's really excited. He also made it pretty clear right away that this was going to be a more serious Gambit. He said that I think in a couple of different ways in a couple of different interviews, which is also cool because I like the Gambit, but I was a bit concerned. Like, I didn't want the, like, how long I've been waiting for this, like, for the whole fucking movie. Like, the Deadpool shit is funny, but like sparingly, use it sparingly. Like, I'm still not thrilled. Like, do you guys know that Pedro is supposed to get his Deadpool's nuts dragged on his face? Like, that's like a real thing. Cool Warhammer shirt. Hey, speaking of Warhammer, can I say something to you, motherfuckers? We're doing a X-Men 97 watch party tonight. I'm really excited. I think that show looks incredible. They're dropping 3 episodes, so I figured, why not? Let's do a little watch party with chat. But I want you to understand something. We're supposed to do Warhammer Wednesday tonight, okay? And my buddy was available to actually play Warhammer tonight. So do you understand what I am sacrificing? I'm sacrificing a lot of Warhammer today, which, holy shit, I would love to play Warhammer. And I'm sacrificing that so that we can watch X-Men 97 together. Because I think it's going to be really cool. What do you think of the Ocarina of Time remake, Josh? I mean, that's cool. I'll probably play it when it comes out. I prefer Majora's Mask. I'm one of those people. I think Majora's Mask is actually better, but Ocarina is great. Ocarina is good. X-Men drink stream? I mean, I might have to have a couple beers. I might have to have a couple beers. Real beers. Not beeros. Bro, do the Warhammer if your bro is free. You know what? That's actually good advice. We're canceling the X-Men 97 watch party. No, I'm just kidding. I actually really want to do X-Men 97 watch party. It'd be fun. But you still wear the Warhammer shirt? Jesus Christ, guys. It's a Pulp Fiction shirt. And it's a pretty cool one. I think it's pretty chill. Okay, a couple of different things that we got to do today, guys. We are actually going to try shorts again. We're going to try it. I know. So we're going to try to do some shorts again. I'm going to send those over to Randon, and we're going to try to do that again. Maybe this setup will be good for it, maybe not. But we'll try that. We're going to talk about some X-Men rumors. We're going to talk about this Boris thing, and then I want to talk a little bit about Andrews of the Garfields, and then we're going to talk about Jean Grey as well. In this economy, I know, bro. I know. It's crazy. It's crazy. The angle's good? Is the angle good? My curls are fucking me up on this side of my hair. Why does it, like, always curl in a certain way to, like, make me look bald? Like, I'm not bald, but my hair curls in such a way that it's like, I might as well be fucking bald, Maybe I'll just shave it. Should I shave my head right now on stream? With a clean razor? Let's get crazy. Did you get my email with the picture of Jean? I gotta be honest, Steve, I did not. I might have seen it, and that, like, I don't know. I had a lot going on. Sorry. Lighting and white balance is good as well. Let's go. Let's go. We're figuring this shit out. 10 years into the game, and we got this. We got this. Brother, your hair looks the exact same every stream. I know, but I have ADHD and I'm neurodivergent, so I can't let it go. Eric says, in a bit of a rough patch, but your streams always help. Nerd Avengers for life. Can't wait for some beers tonight. Well, I'm sorry to hear about the rough patch, man. I mean, the truth is this year's been weird, man. You know, like a lot of struggle out there for a lot of different people. A lot of weird things going on. A lot of like, what the fuck, bruh? Like that's kind of the vibe I'm on with some of the stuff. We've had ups and downs here as well. You know, ups and downs, and so it's all good, brother. I think that's part of the thing with community is cool is we can kind of shoulder the burden a little bit. I've been in positions before where things are tough and like just that thing, whether it was a stream or a show or something, is just like a nice little anchor. It's almost like you're falling and then you stick a knife or grab a branch as you're falling. Just something to kind of give you a foundation. So all good. It's X-Men Day. Hey, how many of you guys have actually watched X-Men 97 so far? How many of you guys have actually checked it out? Maybe one episode, maybe all the episodes. I 3D printed a larger Lego Downey Doom, but it looks like you, Josh. I don't know if that's a win or a fail. Well, I think it's a win. You can think it's a fail and then send it to me. It's like, you know, and then it's a win-win, baby. Not yet. Waiting for tonight. Yes, dude, I had so much to do. I was actually fucking setting this up and wrecking the office. And of course, getting way too angry about it. Unreasonably so. Love it. I had about an hour. I did a bunch of notes for stream. I did a bunch of research and stuff. And then I was like, okay, I got about an hour before stream. What should I do? Let's fucking tear the whole setup up, change it all up, and get super pissed because I should have done it with an hour before stream, you know? So. Woo! New look at a Doom plushie. Sadie Sink is Rachel Summers. For real! I don't think so, but it's interesting that you bring Rachel up. I actually do want to talk a little bit about some crazy possibilities with Jean and, yeah, we'll get into it. We'll get into it a little bit later. Is SDCC live streamed? No, it's not live streamed, but will be live. Will be live, and we'll be waiting for like every little thing that pops out. You know what I mean? Like an announcement, and everybody will be like tweeting about it. Marvel does tend to drop things, whether they're like logos, trailers. They usually go pretty hard for San Diego. We have a good ass time, bro. Like that San Diego Comic-Con stream, I'm really looking forward to that. End of July. We're a month out, baby. Woo! It's gonna be good. So I'm really excited for that one. Yeah, I'm interested. I mean, we'll probably get the first look at the Doomsday trailer. That's cool. Maybe some casting announcements. I kind of feel like they're going to bring Toby out. Maybe Toby and Jack, man. I don't know. But we'll probably get some casting teases. I do wonder if they're going to announce the third Avengers movie, though. Because think about this, guys. Okay. In fact, let's just get into it. This will be the first topic. I didn't even plan this as a topic, but let's just fucking gush about this shit for a second, okay? So we're just talking about San Diego Comic-Con. It's gonna be dope, and Doomsday's gonna be there. Doomsday's already being promoted as somewhat of like the headliner. I think it's the big deal, man. Saturday night, Hall H, and we're going to be live here on the live streaming channel. I'm so excited. The San Diego Comic-Con streams are always the biggest and the best stream of the year for us, which is so fun, so cool. We're looking forward to it. But the question is like, well, what are we going to get? And really, I think the more I keep hearing these people tease the third Avengers movie here, the more I'm like, bro, if that's real, then it's like, it's got to happen now. You know, they got to announce it now. Now, this originally came out, I think, from Alex Perez. I think he kind of teased it a little bit, right? And then almost everybody that I know in the space was like, no way. I remember John Campy said no way. Snyder said no way. And I think John went as far, and it's not a bad point or whatever, but I think John's take was like, if this were to be decided, it would have been decided a long time ago. Right? Like that's like the impression that he gave. Well, now like My Time to Shine is even teasing that it could be real. Other people are teasing that it could be real, right? So, man, I mean, bro, just first reaction, like, what would you guys think? Honest to God, what do you think if they do that? Because I don't see anybody being upset about it. I think a lot of people, especially depending on what happens in Doomsday, would say we need more story, not less. You know, I think most of us want more Battleworld, not less. And that's assuming that's what it is, right? That it's an extra Secret Wars Battleworld. I suppose it technically could be something else that's a continuation of Secret Wars, but I would expect it's probably just a part two to the Secret Wars thing, and that's really exciting, man. So if that is real, again, other people are starting to tease it. Like, look at this. Like Shine teased this, and she's like, she's a shyster, man. It's hard to say for sure. What is she aiming at? What's she getting at? Is this just her having a bit of fun? But Cosmic Circus said it. She retweets it, and it's like, finishing this saga in just 2 films isn't enough. Man, I think if they do this, okay, and if there really is a third Avengers movie, especially depending on how Doomsday does, but honestly, even without Doomsday, because it almost gives you an extra cushion. This almost like gives you an extra out, right? Where you're like, this 2-parter just became a trilogy. If the first movie is a little janky story-wise, like maybe it's spectacle, maybe it's crazy, you're setting up Doom, but it's like, maybe a little shaky. But it's one of 3, that's like different, So I think from that, it almost gives a little bit more of a cushion to Doomsday. It certainly gives cushion to Secret Wars, and Secret Wars itself, I always said, and I think Feige's always known this too, but I've always said that I think Secret Wars is the big deal. Secret Wars is the movie that technically has the chance to beat Endgame. Secret Wars is the real focus of everything they've tried to build and do with Marvel's Phase 4. I mean, I remember reading the Hickman Time Runs Out, the Hickman Avengers, the Hickman New Avengers, at the time when Marvel was finishing up its Infinity Saga. And I remember having conversations with some of you guys, like, dude, like we were literally in live streams together. We'd be in our Discord together, and we'd be talking about how Secret Wars was the obvious next big thing. Part of that has to do with, well, what do you do to one-up an Infinity War and Endgame that took an entire cinematic universe and place it together? Well, you take an entire multiverse and place it together. And the real value proposition there is bringing back, like, your Tobys, Nick Cage Ghost Rider, Ben Affleck Daredevil. Like, essentially take what you did in Endgame and Infinity War, add to it every Marvel franchise that has ever been. Secret Wars in the Multiverse gives you a license to do that. It's a no-brainer. Like, it's so freaking awesome. And so much work, I think, was done to prepare for and set up for that. Now, obviously, a lot of things went wrong. There was the pandemic. There was the losing of the license to Sony. There was, I think Kevin frankly stepped away and trusted his lieutenants a little bit too much. And there's a bunch of goobly glob. Disney Plus, like, yeah, we can make fucking 9 projects a year. Who gives a shit? Well, the fans are going to give a shit. Like, there was a lot that went wrong, but the instinct and the plan to do Secret Wars was always correct. And comic book fans knew. We knew right away, because that Hickman shit was amazing, dude. It was amazing. And not just the run and the lead up to it, which was very good, and I'm glad that some of those elements are being adapted for Doomsday. Like, that's legit. That's awesome. But Secret Wars itself, holy shit. When those issues were coming out, and there was a big delay for, like, the last one or maybe the last 2, but when those issues were coming out, my God, I can't remember ever a time being so excited to get a new issue and chomp down. The characters were interesting. The setting was fascinating. You come into like this Game of Thrones thing. It was like Dr. Doom was watching Game of Thrones. He ends the universe. He creates Marvel Game of Thrones. Dog, it was so fucking cool. And the Battleworld books were cool. You know, the way that Hickman used the tapestry that was the long history of Marvel, whether it's the Ultron drones, the Marvel zombies, it was just so cool, man. Maestro Hulk, all of it, right? So the connection was always obvious that that was going to be the biggest deal in the world. And in fact, many of us were like, this multiverse shit is lame because we're wading in the water. We're like moving slowly through this bullcrap. Dude, just get to the Secret Wars. That's the hype shit. That's where we're going to have fun. And we also thought we'd get Battleworld projects, okay? So we thought, okay, Marvel's going to end the multiverse. They'll just be Battleworld. Dr. Doom creates Battleworld. Well, there's a lot of different stories you could tell on Battleworld, and you have license again to tell incredible stories combining characters. You could have all the Punishers together. All the Punishers together. Minus Ray Stevenson, may he rest in peace. But you could have all those Punishers together. Punishers, like, doing some kind of crusade on Battleworld. It's crazy. You can have all the Spider Boys together. You can have all the Hulks together. You can, you know, there's just like a lot of opportunities for fun stuff. It's frankly what the multiverse and the Multiverse Saga should have been. And now it's possible that although we won't get a lot of the things we wanted, including the Nomad show, right? Because they killed the Nomad show. We might get a two-parter, a trilogy of Avengers movies. And I think for the reasons, like all the reasons I just stated, fans expecting and desiring more from Secret Wars, I think the part 2 is a genius move. It gives them more time. It takes the pressure off. You know what I mean? Like, frankly, Secret Wars can be a movie that breathes a little bit, and then the third one can kind of bring it home and consolidate and have all those crazy epic battles and things of that nature. So I mean, dude, I personally would be all for it, and I think it would be another example of Marvel really defying the odds. You know, let's not forget though that this is the studio that said they were going to do two Avengers movies in 1 year in 2025. That then becomes a completely different Avengers movies a couple years later. So they're not afraid to like really change shit up. I think this is the studio that would have the balls to be like, let's make it one more. Right? Let's make it one more. I don't know, guys. What do you think? Too crazy? No freaking way. I guess the questions would be, do you want it? Do you want it? And then should it just be a Battleworld John? Like, basically, should it just be, you know, people on Secret Wars and continuing that whole thing? Or should it maybe just be something completely different? What do you guys think? What do you think? I think if they make two Billy, they'll make a third one, just like Avatar. So you think it's contingent upon how the movies do? So that would mean they wouldn't announce it anytime soon. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that, brother. I don't know about that. Current Marvel climate would be fixed with the third one because it's so left field, but it's what they actually do with it that makes the difference. Yeah, but I think it just extends the party. Now, some people are still pretty skeptic, right? Some people are skeptic of Doomsday and the Marvel turnaround. But, like, dude, I got to tell you, like, I feel like that's less and less the case. I feel like almost everybody is recognizing what's going on in Spider-Man. Spider-Man looks like, it just looks so good, man. It just looks so good. People are very excited. And what we hear from Doomsday sounds freaking incredible. So I think a lot of people are going to be hyped up on it. And if those two movies work, like imagine coming out in the summer and being like, hey, man, this party, this big Marvel Avengers party that we're going to have for the next 2 years, bro, we're making it a third year. Now we've got 3 years, a 3-year Marvel party. What do you think? I'd rather have 1 4-hour Secret Wars movie, Snyder cut, and then get into the X-Men. Well, it's interesting that you bring up the X-Men, actually, because I think the X-Men will have a lot to do in the Secret Wars movie. So we know Sadie's going to have a role, and it might be pretty significant. But there's other X-Men too. I mean, Toby and Hugh are some of the leads in the movie. You could see, we heard a rumor that maybe it'd be Fassbender's Magneto in there too. Woo, girl. That would be cool. What if like Scott, Beast, some of the others are there? What if they're there in the Secret Wars movie? So we're technically getting just an expanded version of the, goodbye to the older X-Men and the hello to the new X-Men. I think that could play, man. I think it could work. If it's peak, I want it. All killer, no filler. Yeah, that's a good way. That's a good way to think of it. And I think it would be peak. But I also think you're talking about 6 hours of movies. I think you're talking about a 3-hour movie and a 3-hour movie, dude. A 3-hour movie and a 3-hour movie. Yes, brother. Yes, brother. There's so many possibilities for activities. Yeah. I'd like them to be introed properly in a movie. You talking about the new ones? All the Spidey combat scenes might be literal peak. We got to see how the Russos cook with Doomsday, though. I don't want to be skeptic, but I want them to show that they know exactly what they are doing. Oh, the new X-Men, yeah. Yeah, that's totally fair. We got to see Doomsday. We've seen very little. But I would also say that, like, we do have somewhat of a sense-making apparatus for how these movies are going. There's been a couple of cuts of Doomsday, at least one, that has been shown. People are very excited. Everybody at Marvel's really jazzed. They feel really good about it. You know what I mean? And so that's real. But I also recognize that, like, dude, look, yeah, the Russos were not making Marvel movies and frankly not making the best movies outside of Marvel. So there's cause for concern there, but I think that they're just the guys for this shit, man. Like Jordan, went over, tried a little baseball or whatever. Like, it's fine, but come on back. Let's win some fucking championships, dog. Like, that's what I'm saying. Just give Anna Taylor-Joy back as Magic and Sophie Turner-Thatcher as a new version, and I'll be happy. Yeah, we'll talk about Anna. I think she might be back. That's what I mean. We don't want Electric State too. I never watched Electric State. Is it dog shit like that? Ugh. Yeah. I just think they work really well within that wheelhouse, man. They understand these characters. They understand the genre. Man. I think they got the magic back. Because frankly, well, let me ask you this question. Chad. Let's say Doomsday was not going well. Okay, let's hypothetically, what if Doomsday was not doing well? Like, they weren't super happy with it. It's costing way more money than they thought because they had to do all these changes. The actors are fighting. Simu's telling everybody they're not woke enough or whatever. Do you think that they would be more apt to make a third movie if it were going bad? Or do you think they'd be more apt to make a third movie if it was going good? Just think about it. I'd be beyond shocked if Anna Taylor-Joy returned to superhero movies. She's been on a cinephile tear. Oh yeah, what movie is she doing cinephile wise? Wasn't she? She's in the new Dune. That's not really a cinephile. I mean, I guess Denis is pretty fucking snooty. No, the Dune movies are good though. Check gets cashed either way. Yeah, I personally think they'd be more apt if it was going good. If it were going poorly, I don't think they'd be thinking about that. I think they'd be like, okay, let's get a good ending. Let's figure this out. Let's make something satisfying. And then let's get the fuck out of Dodge. I think the only reason you do a third movie is if this thing came together really well. And as you were building it, the next one, you felt as though you needed more, and everybody's having such a good time that, like, why not keep the band together, like an encore, so to speak, right? Like, that's just my bias coming through, but that's kind of how I would think of it. If it were going well, yeah, you think about more. If it's going badly, like, nah, man, like, get it done. Josh, did you ever sort out why the stream experiences 10-second delays? Is it still experiencing 10-second delays for y'all? Are y'all still getting 10-second delays? Should I repeat myself every 10 seconds? I gotta be honest, I didn't really look into that. I looked into other things. We shouldn't have any lag. I think we're not lagging, right? Are we lagging? Are we lagging? Hello? Do we lag? It's still doing that, huh? Happens for all streams? Well, that's not the best. It's not the best thing in the world. If Anya doesn't return, and even if she does for Secret War, Sophie Thatcher is perfect version for Magic. Okay. Just look at it with blonde hair. It's perfect. I gotta be honest, man. I don't... Who's Sophie Thatcher? I feel dumb. I feel like that's a name I should know, but I don't. But I don't. Josh, we're going full frontal with the camera angle. Yeah, dude, I'm naked, waist down, too. All YouTube streams, not just your streams. That's what I mean. Like Valrak, everyone has this issue. Okay, well, maybe YouTube should get their shit together then. Maybe it's all the solar activity. Hey, have you guys been seeing how crazy the solar activity is? Just a diaper. You guys been seeing this crazy solar activity, dog? The sun be sunning. The earth be earthing. The storms be storming. This shit's crazy. Crazy. Stay safe out there. Josh, why are there incursions between Spider-Man's universe and the X-Men universe that justifies the fight? I mean, it's a little bit spoilery. It's a little bit spoilery. But Peter Parker, Toby, in his old age, has resorted to going into other universes. And you know how he's like a photographer? Well, he's taking illicit photos of the female versions of the X-Men, and he opened up like an OnlyFans. It's crazy, I know, but they wanted to modernize Hickman's story. So basically, Toby's a big old pervert, and he's taking illicit photos of all of the X-Men, including Beast, which is why Beast makes the bomb, you know? Beast claims that he was in the pool. You know, he got out of the pool. It's not an accurate representation of what he's working with. So out of pure rage, I think Beast makes the antimatter bomb. I mean, look, I don't want to spoil the whole thing for you guys. But, yeah, it's risky. It's risky. Anyway. All right, we got to do a short. All right. Everybody relax. We got to do a YouTube short here, okay? Here we go for the goldfish brain motherfuckers out there on the internet. Okay, TLDR on the San Diego's Comic-Cons and a possible announcement of a third Russo brother directed Avengers movie. So this all started a couple of months ago, actually. A couple of leakers suggesting that the Russo brothers might do a third Avengers movie. Now, for a long time, there were rumors of splitting Secret Wars up into two parts. Secret Wars is a really, really big story. It's sprawling, so you could see that going on. But when this report originally came out a couple of months ago, a lot of big insiders in the scene came on to say, no freaking way. They said that would never happen. If that were on the table, Marvel would have decided it by now. So there's just no way that it would happen. Interestingly enough, though, Daniel RPK gave a hint that it could happen, and he said something to the effect of, it would depend on how much money Doomsday made. So maybe if Doomsday is looking to be very successful, which, I mean, I think it is, they'd be justified in making a third Avengers movie. And I just got to say that if this happens, this will be a generational shock. I think this would be as shocking, maybe not as shocking as Downey coming back, but I think this would generally be pretty freaking shocking. I would personally be shocked because it's like, you know, you assume you got to pay Downey another $50 million at least. You got to do new contracts for a lot of different people. Like, it does seem like a big fucking mess. Like, it would be a big mess. Now, we did see some indication from some documentation that the reshoots for, or rather, no, the beginning of the shoots for Secret Wars were delayed for some reason, which some people speculate could be because of a contract thing. So I don't know. It's weird. Alex Perez is still saying it's possible. My Time to Shine, hello, kind of hinting that it's possible. Daniel RPK did kind of hint that it was possible, but it goes against conventional wisdom. Man, is Marvel really about to come out, show us the first trailer for Doomsday, and also be like, oh, yeah, and you thought you were just getting one more movie with Downey as Doctor Doom and the Russos? Nah, 2 more movies. We're doing it back to back to back, just in case James Gunn thinks that he can make some new superhero movie and not have to compete with Avengers. Fuck you, James, it's over. Okay, that took a weird turn, but the point is, it's possible that there's a 3rd Avengers movie. Let's get fucking hyped! I don't know. That I feel like that was really good. Personally. You should put a neon sign behind you? Yeah, I probably should. What should it say, Rossi? What should it say? What should my neon sign say? Something like, fuck you, Rossi! Why is it a competition? Well, it's not a competition because Goon's going to get smushed like the cockroach that he is. There is no competition. What there is never take the throat off of your enemy. Right now, James Goon is in a pool drowning, and I need Kevin Feige to go get a garden hose and stick it in his fucking mouth. Anyway. Okay, let's talk about the X-Men. Okay, that was, I don't know, that's probably bad. Bro, the X-Men are coming. And so am I. Listen, I'm actually really excited that we're getting mutants and X-Men. It's been a while. Like, it's legitimately been a while. We're getting X-Men 97, by the way, releases tonight. I'm super thrilled to check those 3 episodes out. But I'm talking about the actual live-action X-Men coming into the MCU. You know, it's a full circle thing for Kevin of the Feige. Most of you already know this, but in case you don't, Kevin's first big assistant gig, his big producing assistant gig, was on the first Bryan Singer X-Men. He went on to work on 13 Marvel movies before getting the position as the president of the brand new Marvel Studios when they start trying to buy back characters and build Marvel Studios. And the rest is history. But it's like really cool, man. It's a cool full circle thing for Kevin to go back to the X-Men in the MCU. It's actually probably like the single reason that he's not retiring after Secret Wars and all that, because he does really want to handle the X-Men. And we also know, by the way, that his plans for Spider-Man Brand New Day, Doomsday, and Secret Wars, potentially Secret Wars Part 2, involves the X-Men. It involves setting the X-Men up. Now, we just got a couple of new rumors that are about the potential casting for the X-Men. And dude, this shit is kind of cool. So the first one, I think this is really, really important to bring up here, is Anna Taylor-Joy. Okay? Now, here's the rumor right here. It's coming from My Time to Shine. Hello. Kevin Feige is interested in bringing Anna Taylor-Joy back as Magic. Now, on the one hand, that's just cool. Like, she was good in the role. This reminds me a little bit of like the Netflix thing where, you know, look, they originally wanted to change that Netflix thing up a lot, but they did always want Vincent D'Onofrio. He always thought he was just the guy for Kingpin, and so they wanted to bring him in. Kevin does have a pretty good eye for recognizing when a person, even in a different franchise, is cast really well for a role. We've seen him do this. I mean, technically brings Charlie Cox into the Spider-Man movie and into the MCU. You know, there are other examples as well. So that's really cool. However, this begs the question of how this could work within everything else that we've heard about the upcoming X-Men saga, because we believe that Sadie Sink is the new Jean Grey, that they probably cast a lot of younger people around her age to fit in. And we also thought it would probably be a clean slate, meaning you're probably not bringing back people that played these roles in those other movies, okay? And if Anna is really being looked at, then we kind of have to consider that some of that stuff might not be true. Couple of interesting things, though. Grace Randolph said years ago, when she was first reporting on this, that it was possible they were going to have some new faces and some older faces, okay? Now, what I take that to mean is that this was something Marvel Studios was considering as well. They were at least open to the possibility of bringing some of the older faces back and bringing some new people in as well. Okay, so I believe that. Also, by the way, I think GeekyCast, to throw a bone to GeekyCast, I'm pretty sure Chad reported, and again, Chad claims to have new sources and actually be more plugged in than before. So we'll see. We'll see. But he was also claiming that they were going to potentially bring back some of the older faces as well. So that's cool. Now, this movie, New Mutants, man, like basically nobody fucking saw this movie. Like this thing bombed terribly. I've never seen it, by the way. Never seen this movie. But I have seen clips of her as Magic, and she's good. She's good. She's a good actress. And I would love for her to actually be Magic in the MCU. I think that would be really, really cool. Does this then mean that other X-Men from that side, right? Because there's the original stuff with Bryan Singer and, that cast with Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen. Then you have a sort of merger between the First Class movie and the older guard in X-Men Days of Future Past. But then, we kind of focus on that new cast, that Jennifer Lawrence cast, and we just go through with that. I mean, maybe I'm reading too far into this, but that's kind of a fun aspect of being a nerd and getting all excited about this stuff. Does this potentially mean that we could get Fassbender as Magneto in the reboot? I mean, we've heard a lot of different things about Magneto. I think the Denzel stuff we can pretty much put to bed at this point. I don't think Denzel is going to be Magneto, and there's evidence of other characters that Denzel could play. Either the Shadow King or maybe like a Brother Voodoo or something like that. So I think we can probably put that rumor to rest. There was a rumor that they were looking at Daniel Day-Lewis for Magneto, and I got to say, if you get Daniel Day-Lewis, basically fuck every other plan you had, make that work and build the whole thing around him, because I think he's that good. But we never had a confirmation about that. I have heard that Fassbender has been open to returning in some other things and also potentially in Secret Wars. Okay. So we don't know for sure, but there were rumors put out that Fassbender could be the Magneto in Secret Wars on Battleworld. McKellen's Magneto would be there in Doomsday, but then when we get into Secret Wars, it would be Fassbender. I also heard Fassbender, and I believe Michael Waldron even confirmed this, they were going to do Fassbender Magneto in Multiverse of Madness. Absolutely incredible. It might have even been the case that he could have had a role in Deadpool and Wolverine, because remember, there were a lot of rumors about Magneto. Deadpool even jokes about it in the movie. He really wanted Magneto, right? So basically, I'm saying Fassbender's been open to it. McAvoy, hard to say. I think he's made some comments here and there. Nothing recently. I don't know. I think it could work. Chat, what do you think? I would not mind if they go mostly new cast, right? But some of the X-Men that are older, including Charles, including Magneto, maybe, we do Magic. There's other characters that just would be older than a young X-Men team. Maybe go for new actors for those, or rather go back to the Fox actors for those. I could actually see that working. It's also a potentially interesting thing to set up via the Secret Wars movie, right? You bring some of these people back. What if Anna Taylor-Joy's Magic is back and has interactions with Jean Grey on Battleworld? That could perhaps suffice as a little bit of a stepping block there. Yeah, I don't know. Chat, what do you guys think? I think this could actually be cool, man. I think this would be cool. I would want to bring back... Honestly, dude, I would even bring back Miles Teller. Wasn't he Cyclops, or am I crazy? I'm like blanking out who the Cyclops was there. But here's some people I would bring back. I would bring back Fassbender Magneto. I would bring back McAvoy. I would bring back... I mean, honestly, the kid that did Nightcrawler, he wasn't too bad. The Cyclops dude, he wasn't too bad, but you probably recast Cyclops. You know what I mean? You want to do something really special with the Summers, you probably recast them. Jubilee, she wasn't too bad. I don't know. Who else? Who else could actually work? Who would you want to see? He was Reed. Who was the the Cyclops then? Storm was great. Yeah, she was actually not bad. She had the mohawk out. That was kind of cool. She wasn't bad. Jubilee. Miles Teller's the maker would be great. Oscar Isaac? No. We need the Rockpocalypse, baby. We need the Rockpocalypse. The kid from Ready Player One. Yeah, he wasn't too bad. James Marsden? Nah. He's too old. I mean, no offense to him, but dude, you could bring him into Secret Wars, do all that stuff, but he's not going to be, you can't see him romanticizing a Sadie Sink. That was the worst Cyclops ever. Okay, I didn't watch all the movies. Okay, relax. Gotta have an Iceman. Was Iceman in the newer ones? I don't really remember Bobby being in there. I love these streams, Josh. Keep it up. You're welcome. I will keep it up, but not more than 4 hours. You have to call the doctor. Christopher Judge for Apocalypse. He'd be good. I need the Rockpocalypse. I need the Rock cutting promos as Apocalypse. Gay Iceman? Yeah, probably. I mean, they made him gay. He's a gay icon now, from what I hear. He's the coolest, coldest gay that there is. Sunspot? Was Sunspot even in the other ones? He was. I don't think Sunspot's in any of the movies. I'll tell you what, man. I like the Bishop. I like that older Bishop that they did in Days of Future Past. That was cool. I like Blink. Blink's a really interesting mutant, but you'd probably go younger for that. You know, honestly, you could probably just take Fassbender and McAvoy and maybe Anna, maybe a couple others, but that's probably all you need, to be honest. Sunspot is in New Mutants. Oh, okay. Yeah, he's in X-Men 97, though. It's glorious. Yeah, in Days of Future Past, yeah. You know what else is cool? Is like, it's kind of fun that we're getting actual Sentinels that are going to act like Sentinels in Doomsday 2. That's going to be sweet. That's going to be sweet. No Jennifer Lawrence? Oh, hell no. No, thank you, Jennifer. Hey, Jennifer, no, thank you. Wasn't there another casting for X-Men that recently came out soon? Or how about this? Let me ask you guys this. Somebody in chat the other day said that My Time to Poop on the Floor had said that Wanda Maximoff might be the main antagonist of the Mutant Saga. Is that true? Can anybody verify that? Did she actually say that shit? Did she actually say that? Or were you guys lying to me about it? Sentinels have no character. Yeah, they're big autonomous robots. They don't really have character, no. That would be W. That would be the dumbest shit I've ever heard. See, look, the duality of men. There's no more The Rock. It's only Dwayne now. What? No, it's the Rockpocalypse, man. Come on now. I need more Warhammer? Hell yeah. People are also saying that Sadie Sink is like a young Wanda. Oh, okay, yeah. She tweeted it? I didn't see her tweet it. I checked her Twitters. Even though I blocked her, I can still check her shit out. She didn't say that. Clankers don't have character. Hell yeah. Gun does nothing good at all. That's true. That's true. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Wanda being involved as the big bad would be wild. Look, we're going to talk about some more X-Men stuff too, because I want to get into some Jean Grey rumors and stuff. I think that doing the Apocalypse route, having the Summers and the Jean thing and the bloodlines and stuff like that is going to be really, really interesting. So I think it could work. I hope Anna actually does come back, because I think she's even higher profile now than she used to be. I think it'd be a fun gig for her, man. She doesn't have to be in all the movies. She can, show up, do some fun, cool shit. I think that would be awesome. I think that would be awesome. All right, I guess we should do a short. Let's do a short on that, okay? Real quick, we'll do a short. It's only going to take a short amount of time, okay? So we got a crazy rumor about the X-Men reboot, and it's that Anna Taylor-Joy could potentially come back as Magic. Now, she was Magic in the New Mutants horror movie that basically nobody saw. I think that movie only made like $20 million in the box office or whatever. Very, very terrible, massive bomb, horrible, horrible thing that happened to Fox. But actually, Disney had to eat that. That's one of the first movies Disney had to release after the purchase. Anyway, more to the point, this is interesting for a couple of different reasons. Number one, she's the shining star of that movie. A lot of us have seen the clips from that movie. She looks pretty cool as Magic, so I'm about that. She's a good actress. She's also hot. I'm into her returning to the role of Magic. But this also begs the question of, will there be other actors from the previous X-Men movies that could show up in the X-Men reboot? Because all signs currently kind of point to Sadie Sink being Jean Grey, and a lot of the actors that would be around her being a lot younger. So does this potentially open up the door for a Michael Fassbender Magneto? I'd be into that. Bring McAvoy back as Charles Xavier. I'd be into that. They could exist and work. Maybe it helped people get into it, and they've already played the role, so they could help play these other characters, play off of them. I think it would be kind of good. I'm not really sure what it could mean, but I like it. I like Anna, Magic. Let's do it. I like Fassbender, Magneto. Let's do it. I like the McAvoy as Charles. Let's do it. What do you think? Boom. Short. Done. All right, we got to talk about Boris. All right. All right, guys. This one's pretty wild. We got to talk about a rumor, something that's come out about Avengers Doomsday. And also, this is potentially way more revealing than people realize. Okay, so let's get into this. So, this did come out from My Time to Shine Hello. Says Benedict Cumberbatch will reportedly play Doctor Doom's sidekick, Boris, in Avengers Doomsday. He's said to wield a sling ring and be portrayed as a wizard alongside Doctors of the Doom. Okay, so this is really interesting for a couple of different reasons. Number one, there were a lot of rumors about this sidekick that Doctor Doom would have. Potentially, this is one of the golden masked individuals. It's also very likely this will be a person that has a golden mask that has a third eye open on the mask, right? And when one of the scoopers said that, we were all like, yeah, that shit's Benedict Cumberbatch for sure. It's also probably the reason as to why Benedict Cumberbatch originally sort of lied and said he wasn't in Doomsday. If you remember, this happened last year. And, we were so convinced that he was going to be in the movie. And then in an interview, he was like, wait, is that a spoiler? Yeah, I'm not in the next one. Probably because the script changed from Kang Dynasty to Doomsday. They told him he was going to be this secret character, Boris, and that he's in a lot of the movie, but he was just going to show up maybe for reshoots or whatever. So I think that probably explains why Benedict Cumberbatch lied about that. But then he corrected the record. He came out and was like, okay, yeah, I am in the next one, right? So this guy has a sling ring. He's a wizard, sorcerer, alongside Doctor Doom, his sidekick. Now, this guy might be doing some cool stuff, might be performing some magic, maybe giving Doctor Doom advice. We're not really sure, but here's where it gets wild. Here's where it gets into places that nobody's talking about, okay? First, remember, Benedict Cumberbatch, according to Charles Murphy, Benedict Cumberbatch shot a very important scene for Doomsday. There was a skeleton crew. Basically, nobody was there when they were shooting it. It was done on a sound stage so that nothing would leak. It was done during the reshoots or right at the end of principal photography. Nobody knows what this scene was, but apparently it was super duper importante. Okay? Now, the next thing that's crazy about Boris, and technically we have to file this under like massive grain of salt, like take a massive grain of salt and like lick that shit a bajillion times. But there were some rumblings that in Iron Man 1, the guy in the cave, Jensen, who helps Tony out, right? I mean, how do I say this? I'm going to sneeze too. Hang on. Okay. So there were some rumors, there were some reports that that guy might have been Boris. That's actually the first time I heard that name Boris was in connection to asking questions about if there would be any retconning or any scenes where we would see Iron Man, basically Iron Man 1 with RDJ. Would we see any scenes from that, or would that be in the movie at all? Because there were very early reports and rumors that Dr. Doom, Victor Von Doom, RDJ's Dr. Doom, was somehow present in Iron Man 1. And so a lot of us were like, okay, well, how could that be? Doom could technically be anybody in that movie because he's a magic user. He can shapeshift. He can also turn his Doombots into other people, which we saw in the Children's Crusade run. He made a fake Wanda so convincing everybody thought it was for sure her until they killed it. So I was like, okay, Doom could be in this movie at any position or whatever. And I was like, maybe it's Jensen, because Jensen is such a central character to the whole thing. Jensen like really sets Tony on the path to being a hero, right? And one person that I talked to that's pretty reliable told me, oh, no, the Jensen character is not Dr. Doom. That's actually Boris. And I was like, what in the hell? I was like, who the fuck is Boris? Okay. On top of that, I got into a Twitter conversation with Jeremy Conrad earlier this year. Now, Jeremy Conrad is like super plugged in. He is responsible for giving us some of the leaks and clearing up when some of the fake leaks came out and telling us what's really going on in Doomsday, okay? And I asked Jeremy on Twitter, I said, who's Boris? And he shared the meme or the GIF back where Arnold Schwarzenegger is staring at his wife in that one movie, True Lies. And I took it to mean that I shouldn't be asking about Boris. That he was like really mad that I was questioning the Boris character. Okay, now, again, take that all with a grain of salt. We don't even know what any of that exactly means. But let me try to clarify it and explain what I think could be going on here. Okay. I really wonder what that scene will be with Doctor Strange and Doctor Doom. You know, a lot of the scoopers said very early on, and this was even when it was going to be, or when it was just out of Kang Dynasty, we didn't know for sure. how all of the changes were going to go from Kang Dynasty into Doomsday. But I remember just hearing from various people that the scenes between RDJ's Doctor Doom and Benedict Cumberbatch's Doctor Strange would be earth-shattering. They would destroy universes. They were some of the most, I think Alex called them, some of the most important scenes in the entire Multiverse Saga. Okay? And Steven, you know, our Steven is somehow really important and connected to this whole multiversal thing, right? Like he's just got to be. There's all kind of variants of him that are being killed. That's sort of one of the catalysts for Multiverse Madness. He's having those dreams. The Illuminati of 838 said that the most dangerous threat to the multiverse was Stephen Strange. It was him. They said that to his face, dog. And they showed him that they killed their Stephen. Pretty wild. Pretty freaking wild, okay? Stephen's also intimately connected to time travel. Stephen in Infinity War goes forward in time to see 14 million, and what is it, 605? 14,605 possible futures, and they win in one against Thanos? Well, in a way, looking at possible futures is also looking at different timelines. You realize that, right? Do you realize that? I mean, obviously, it's almost obvious that that's what he's looking at. Possible futures, he's looking at timelines. He's looking at different ways that it will go, that maybe it already has gone. Okay? Do you think there's a chance in 14 million different outcomes that Steven might realize the truth about Tony Stark? This Tony Stark, this Doctor Doom, right? I've also just found it interesting because Steven cast that spell in the Spider-Man movie, gets everybody to forget Peter, and it seems like there's really something to that, to the memory, to forgetting people, like to past universes, past selves, and things of that nature. So to me, Doc Strange has always been a really interesting character in this whole thing. But the idea of him working with Doctor Doom and having the ability to time travel, and us thinking about how in Iron Man 1, if this was a false universe or if this was something else that was going on, could there have been a manipulation? Could Jensen have been Steven setting him on a certain path to get to a certain outcome? Because one of the other things that the scoopers keep saying is that it's actually the death of Iron Man. It's the death of Tony that might have broken the multiverse free, which we've never fully had explained, but like some of the scoopers have just hinted that that's what it is. It's actually not He Remains. It was when Tony died. When Tony died, something happened. Something broke free. So is there a push? Jensen even said he had really steady hands. He was also a doctor. Yeah. Interesting. Could it be the case? I just don't know. Like, are they going to go that route? Are they going to go a preemptive, like predetermined path history thing? Is our Steven, Prime Steven, who has already experienced the Secret War, already has a thing with Doom, erased his own memory after doing it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's really, really interesting. So again, I don't know. I'm certainly not saying for sure that it's Jensen, that Boris is connected to Jensen. But what I am saying is, like, this draws back to some of the most interesting and early leaks that are out there for Doomsday. And it draws to things and people like Jeremy Conrad and others that I think really do know more than they're letting on and are still trying to preserve certain secrets. You know, like a lot of the scoopers keep saying, like, there's still secrets. There's still things people don't know. And, yeah, I don't know. I think if they're going to do this, they're going to have to do some heavy lifting and explaining. And I think Benedict Cumberbatch and the possibility that he's Prime Steven could help with that. Because another thing that Alex said was, and this has always stuck with me. This has always been something I'm like, what the hell does that mean? But Alex said one time that when they're in the Multiverse of Madness movie, and when he says to Reed, like, didn't you guys chart in the 60s? It's because that Steven has an echo of a memory from the actual timeline where he knew the Fantastic Four. They went up into the space in the 60s. They got in the accident. They had their powers. And an echo of that memory from the Prime universe has popped up in Steven's mind, and he processes it as them being a band that charted in the 60s. But it's not that. It's just like, this is his brain's way of making sense of that old memory. So I don't know, like, could this be connected to that scene where Steven's on with the skeleton crew? Is he manipulating time? Is he dipping out of the dark dimension back in the day, becoming Jensen to set Tony on the path? Did he already do that? I don't know. It's really, really interesting. And then, of course, I think this leads to Steven being the sheriff in Secret Wars and some of the leaked concept art and all that sort of stuff we've already seen. So I think it's pretty cool. Guys, what do you think? Way too crazy? Way too crazy? Boris, what's up with Boris? They really could get buck wild with all of it. They could absolutely get buck wild, brother. I think they're going to get buck wild, you know? I don't know if they're going to get as wild as I'm thinking, but I think they're going to get pretty wild. Beatles, Fab Four, Fantastic Four. Yes, but that doesn't change what Alex said. Alex literally reported that, you know, in a Q&A. And he's pretty good. What if Strange found out the truth of the false timelines when he was looking at all the possible outcomes versus Thanos and saw that he had to be Tony so that the death he could still be the hero later? Yeah, like there's like really layered way that this could all work. It sounds really sweaty. I'm here for it. It does sound really sweaty for sure. But also, like, it's funny because it's complicated and it's weird, but at the same time, if they literally show you Iron Man 1 and show you that that was Steven or something, then you're immediately going to be like, yo, this whole thing's been weird. Like, this whole thing was different than I thought. So it's actually kind of like a great way to maybe get people on board with just how weird and bizarre and how a lot of what we thought was real might be false. Let's see here. My theory is that He Who Remains couldn't control Doom Tony, so he had to write everything around him. Cap, Spider-Man, now Jensen, someone that Doom trusted and listened to. Makes perfect sense. Yeah, it could certainly work within that context. Yeah. Zazie Beetz should come back as Domino. Yeah, I think so too. I think she might actually in the next Deadpool movie, maybe. Yes. Any other thoughts? Any other questions, guys? My problem with all of these is how are the normies supposed to understand it? Dude, who gives a shit about the normies? I don't. The normies, you know what? You know how the normies are gonna understand it? They're gonna watch Den of Nerds videos after the fact. They're gonna be like, "That was really cool. What just happened?" You know? And there's really popular movies that have endings that people don't understand. There's really popular movies that require you to go try to figure out what the fuck even happened. Did you ever watch that movie? What's called Everything Everywhere All at Once? Do you think normies had a problem with that movie? Wait, so Strange is walking in Stark's body in Endgame, possibly? No, not in Stark's body. Different bodies. Don't lie. They'll be watching New Rockstars. No, you're right, and I fucking hate it. God damn it, New Rockstars. And your incredibly accessible and much more nicer toned content than mine own. Damn you, New Rockstars. Josh, don't tell me you had to watch YouTube breakdowns on Everything Everywhere All at Once. Might be a you problem. I never watched that movie, okay? I'll make a confession here. I never saw the movie. I think I maybe watched a little bit of it. And I was like, dude, how are normies supposed to understand this? And I turned it off. Catching up on the replay. Nerdbends for life. Lizzo for Doom. Wonderful. Thank you, John. Appreciate it. Yeah, but they don't have crash outs. That's true. They don't have crash outs as good as mine. My crash out game's pretty strong. That's how I ended up here, Josh. Just a normal guy. Well, there you go. Welcome, you normal ass guy. How you doing? How you doing, you normal guy? What's it like to be so normal? How many things do you know about Doomsday that haven't been leaked yet? Hang on, I gotta get my toes out. I don't know. Let's stop dumbing down media for normies. Amen! The normies I've talked to already tapped out. Anyways, amen! Wait, what? Let's make movies for the fans, not the populace. Yeah, dude, no, like, look, audiences are also, like, getting smarter and smarter. Like, would you rather have, like, a James Gunn situation where you have this, like, really stupid, stereotypically broken, but strong enough to beat all of the dudes, like, lady thing? You know, would you rather have, like, James Gunn slop? Or would you rather have something fucking complicated? You ever watch the show Dark? You ever watch the show Dark Matter? Right? You ever watch the show just like something that like made you think? You know, I think Dark Matter is a great example, and we should do a watch of Dark Matter before Doomsday, because I actually think Dark Matter might have really affected how they looked at the script. But like, dude, Dark Matter is confusing as fuck. The show Dark is confusing as fuck. They're very popular shows, dude. Lost was confusing. You know what I mean? Some people like to think. And also, too, the ability to take like really intricate and complex ideas and piecemeal them out so that a more mass audience can like accept. That's a skill, actually. That's a skill. So I don't know, man. I think the audience is ready. I think a lot of people are down with more complicated and, you know, challenging media. What role, if any, will Pepper Potts and Tony's daughter play in Doomsday or Secret Wars? Oh, I don't really know, but I do think they will play a role. Yeah. Apple Dark Matter, dude. That shit is amazing. If you haven't seen Dark Matter on Apple, highly recommend it. It's really good. It's really, really good. How will Doom use the bathroom? Well, he just pisses himself and then he uses one of those Doctor Strange portals right at the end of his urethra. And then he probably like has it go on something in the Baxter building. You know, so I'm assuming that Dr. Doom has pissed all over Reed's house. VTJ Production says, is Loki going to get his time to shine? He deserves it. Nah, I don't think so. I think he comes in, says a few words, and gets fucking killed. Spine rip! Scene 1! No, yeah, he'll probably get some shine. Okay, enough of all that. The Boris thing, it's wild, huh? I'm telling you guys, I don't know for sure what's going on with this Boris thing, but I know it's big. That's going to be crazy. Spine rip Ironheart, please. Hell yeah. I'm down. Foundation can get confusing as well. Yeah, Foundation can be confusing. That's true. That's fair. Is Boris a code name like Steve had, or will he be called that in the movie? No. It's a code name. It's the code name they gave Doc Strange. But what I'm trying to tell you is I've heard that name connected to some other scenes and some other rumors. No, the Spanish guy. I cannot. You'll have to watch the clip, or you'll have to rewind the stream, or you'll have to make something up in your mind. What time is the watch party? 7:30 p.m. tonight. Actually, I take all of that back. I will summarize because I want to do a short. It's your lucky day, the Spanish guy. Dios mío. Relájate, güey. Here we go. Little trabajo. A little work for the Spanish guy. Here we go. So I got to do that thing again where some crazy rumors out there, and I think it's even crazier than you think. Oh my God. And I'm talking about this rumor with regards to Doctor Strange. So new report coming out from My Time to Shine. Hello. Absolutely terrible. We all hate her, but she does have info. We can't help ourselves. She said that Doctor Strange, Benedict Cumberbatch's Doctor Strange, was codenamed as Boris in the Doomsday movie. Now that's interesting because I heard Boris connected to some crazy freaking rumors that involved the possibility of Iron Man 1, the very first Marvel movie, having characters in it like a Doctor Doom that was not seen as a Doctor Doom. And Boris, in fact, was mentioned as possibly connected to the Jensen character. Jensen is, of course, the guy in the cave, the doctor, the surgeon that helps save Tony's life, helps give him a lease on life so that he can become a hero, etc., etc. Well, is it possible that that was actually a time-traveling Doctor Strange that was already working with Doctor Doom? That would be insane. I don't know if that's the way they're going to do it, but either way, this Boris thing is really crazy. I think Benedict Cumberbatch's role in Doomsday is very mysterious. I think it's a really big deal. I think he's probably one of those golden masked individuals. And then I will also remind you that Charles Murphy said that there was some really important scene with Benedict Cumberbatch that was shot with a skeleton crew. It was just Benedict and a couple other people. Very mysterious. We don't know what that scene is. Maybe it's a Doctor Doom scene. Maybe it's this scene here where he's watching over Iron Man 1 and being Jensen or something crazy like that. So I don't know, but keep an eye out for this Boris rumor, more crazy stuff about Doctor Strange in Doomsday. I think Doomsday is going to do some major retconning of what we watched in the Infinity Saga, and I think that will involve Iron Man 1. Bada boom. There you go. There you go, the Spanish guy. That's for you. That's for you. Becoming Famous says, that was very good, and I didn't mind you repeating yourself at all. Well, even though you've been nice, I feel like calling you a douchebag. So thanks for nothing, you douchebag. Do you think anybody that has seen any kind of version of the movie Fall has seen the top secret scenes? That's an interesting question. Probably. Maybe not all of them, but probably, yeah. Huh. That's a cool question. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. That's a good fucking question, man. So my uncle is Cumberbatch. He told me something that everyone is missing. I'm gonna use that for my title of the clip. Benedict Cumberbatch is my uncle, and he told me something everyone is missing. That's pretty good clickbait. That's pretty good. Can you please redo it in Spanish for my Mexican folk? I no hablo español. Lo siento. No. I bet that's a crazy NDA he had to sign. Yeah, maybe. Did he sign it in blood? That's the question. That's the question. All right. Should we talk about Andrews of the Garfield, or should we just skip right ahead into the Jean Grey stuff, man? What do you think? What do you think? Should we do a little Andrew Garfield just real quick? Just a little bit? Josh, I think Morbius is Eternity and was hidden his true identity twice by Kang. Morbius is Eternity, huh? It's Morbin time. All right, let's do a little Andrew Garfield. We'll do Jean. We'll do Andrew Garfield and we'll do Jean. Okay? We'll do Andrew Garfield and we'll do Jean. Okay? So, a couple of interesting things out there about Andrew Garfield, Spider-Man, and just the Spider-Mans in general. And I just can't stop thinking about how this is all going to fit together. We know, of course, that Tom Holland is going to be in his own Spider-Man movie, but it doesn't seem like the other Spider-Boys are going to be in it. You know, it doesn't seem like Toby's swinging by. But we did hear in one of the new little leaks, or maybe it's a TV spot, that Tom Holland's Spider-Man does reference Peter too. So when the organic webbing thing is happening, he's like, yeah, Peter too had that. He's pretty cool. So what's that about? That's cool. You know, he's referencing Peter too. But anyway, it doesn't seem like we're going to have a lot of multiversal stuff, at least with the Spider-Boys in Brand New Day. However, when it comes to Doomsday, apparently Toby, big deal. Big deal. Toby in that scene, big deal. And also Toby's a big deal for Secret Wars. Now, couple of interesting things here. A lot of people within this story and within all this info are like, well, what about Andrew? You know, what about Andrew Garfield? Is he possibly a Doomsday? And a lot of the scoopers are saying no, but he'll be a big part of Secret Wars. And My Time to Shine even said he'll be in Secret Wars and he will fight the alien. Now, what does that mean? What alien is he going to fight? He might fight a couple of different aliens, but I think that means he will probably fight the symbiote. Okay. Now, I heard, and I think some other scoopers hinted at this as well, that the Spider Boys, Tom, Toby, and Andrew, would actually be forced to fight against each other on Secret Wars. Interesting. So we've thought of many different ways that this could go. Okay. But before we get into more speculation on how all of that could go, let's talk a couple more things about Toby. Daniel RPK was recently yapping and said that Toby's suit was shot in mocap. Now, you'll recall there was those leaked photos that came out where he's fighting Hugh Jackman and he's in a mocap suit. And a bunch of people were like, that's not real because Toby has a real suit and they shot him in the real suit. Well, it turns out, no, those scenes are real because although they did make a new suit for Toby, it wasn't quite ready for original principal photography. So they shot him mostly in mocap. They probably shot him in the new actual suit a little bit for the reshoots. And then, of course, he's going to be, I think, in that actual suit in Secret Wars. So that's, you know, you can kind of just see like the workflow of that whole situation because surprise, surprise, and a little bit of spoilers here, but Toby's not really in a lot of Doomsday. You know, he's in the beginning part. He gets killed, even though like technically everybody gets killed in Secret Wars. So you shouldn't get too hung up on that. But yes, he's going to get killed. Him and Hughes of the Jackman are going to get sucked up into a portal of the incursion and they're going to poop back out on Battleworld. Well, that means he's going to be in the suit he was in. So that means this upgraded suit, which again originally was, you know, shot mocap, that suit, which I bet it's really cool, man. I bet it's really cool. That suit will be him in Secret Wars. Now, some people were out there saying this is going to be the Iron Spider and it's going to be a version of the Iron Spider. No, it's not a version of the Iron Spider. It's just a version of Toby's suit that's probably like upgraded and better. I personally hope, I hope it has a distinct enough look. Peter's had a lot of different suits throughout the years, so I hope it's like an upgraded version of his older suit because, frankly, the new Tom Holland suit that we'll see in Brand New Day looks a little bit too much like the Toby suit to me. So I'm hoping Toby's suit gets a little bit of a difference, like more black in the suit would be cool. I guess we'll see. But what that also means is they're probably not going to just turn around and give Toby the symbiote suit. Because, again, they made this whole freaking new costume from him, and they want that costume to be on the hot toy for Doomsday. And then when people are mad that he's not in the movie a lot, they'll be excited because he's in that same suit in Secret Wars. Does that make sense? Tom, however, seems to be getting the symbiote suit. Just a lot of rumors, a lot of smoke, a lot of hints from insiders and scoopers that that's what's going to happen. Tom will have the symbiote suit either via a post-credit scene in Brand New Day, or he'll just get it when he arrives on Battleworld or something like that, okay? So, if we have rumors of the Spider Boys all fighting each other, if we have rumors that Andrew Garfield is back in Doomsday, or rather in Secret Wars, but not in Doomsday, we have rumors that Toby gets a new suit, he's going to be a little bit in Doomsday and then be a major part of Secret Wars. And we have rumors that Tom Holland is going to be in the symbiote. Well, how do you put all of that together? Well, it's obvious that Tom's going to have to fight in the symbiote suit against Andrew Garfield. But it also kind of makes you think, well, then they're all three going to be fighting. Well, how could they all three be fighting? Like, what shenanigans would happen to make this occur? Well, I think if Andrew is Team Doom, which, like, man, if he's one of the Golden Mask, I'll freak out. I don't think he is. He's not a Golden Mask person. But, like, what if he is Team Doom? Okay? If Andrew is Team Doom and he's like a Duke or a Baron or he's in charge, and then this other Spider-Man rolls up that's not accounted for and doesn't seem like he worships God Emperor Doom or whatever, Andrew would be inclined to fight him. And especially if it's an alien or a symbiote, like, yeah, I think he'd be inclined to fight him. Now, why would they all three be fighting each other? Well, this could be explained in a couple of different ways, but the way I'd explain it is the symbiote itself is potentially overtaking Tom. It remembers Toby. It doesn't like him. It actually doesn't like any of these Spider-Man. So maybe the symbiote is forcing Tom to be antagonistic of both Toby and of Andrew. They're all fighting against each other, and then maybe Jean Grey gets them all to remember, and then they all throw down their weapons, or they're bros again, and they come together, some shit like that. Like that could make that make sense. And either way, between all of those rumors and between all of the different changes of suits and costumes, I mean, you could be looking at, like, imagine this, right? You could be looking at Tom Holland in the symbiote suit on Secret Wars. You could be looking at Toby in a new upgraded version of his suit on Battleworld. And then Andrew Garfield in some 1602 version of the Spider-Man costume, you know? And that sounds like a fanboy dream come true. So that would be really cool. We've also speculated that this could be maybe in a gladiatorial sense, like maybe Doom has a gladiatorial or a coliseum, and he's making people fight to the death or something, and maybe he gets all the Spider Boys and tries to just have them fight each other to the death. Like, it could be something like that. Yeah, I don't really know, but I wanted to talk briefly about that because I think what they are going to do with Andrew is actually going to be cool. It's so obvious that what they've done with the Spider-Man in general this year is amazing. Tom's getting incredible treatment. That movie looks awesome as fuck. He's getting organic webbing. He's being set up for Secret Wars. Similar thing with Toby. Toby's getting a new suit. Toby's going to get a huge promotional boost for Doomsday. Toby's going to die pretty early, but then they're going to promise Toby in Secret Wars. Well, if they're doing all that, you gotta give some sauce to Andrew. Like, you can't give Peter 1 and Peter 2 all this awesome stuff, put them in the huge Marvel movies this year, and then Peter 3, you're like, okay, I guess we could throw him in Secret Wars. No. And in fact, most people, including Nick Cage, agree that Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is really the best one. And he steals the show. In Spider-Man No Way Home, he steals the goddamn show. So I think, just given the caliber of actor that Andrew is, make him evil. Make him a dark side evil. Because remember, he stopped pulling his punches. Remember, he says that too. So, like, we already know he has a propensity for violence. Dude, make him evil Spider-Man. Make him, like, turn in a really, like, crazy performance that makes us, like, have chills. And then make him fight Toby and Andrew in some crazy epic scene. And give him lasagna, too. That's a good idea. I like it. I like it. So I just wanted to talk about that because, bro, it really feels like, and I hope I'm not just making up all this fanboy shit and then none of that happens. And they're all just sitting around in the movie and we're like, what the fuck? But I have to believe that Marvel is taking this opportunity to do way more than just, like, whatever kind of shit. It seems like the Russos are, like, ramping it up. Like, they're building specific kind of fights between characters, utilizing their powers in really cool ways. They understand the fans. They understand fan expectations. I think it'll be cool, man. What do you guys think? No way? Maybe he has killed before? Yeah, I think maybe he has. Yeah. I think maybe he has. What do you think, chat? Could it be? Could it be? Would it be dope? What do you think? All this talk about the Spider-Man fighting each other makes me wish Kevin just doubled down and made Battleworld an entire phase with like 6 movies. I agree. And it's a super missed opportunity. Maybe though that is an explanation for the 2-part Secret Wars. He's killed like a plate of, dude, I'd kill a plate of lasagna right now. I'm hungry. Garfield playing a villain is good. Love to have him play against type. Yeah, I agree. And he's really talented. He could say some nasty shit, bro. He could be like vile. He could be dark. I think Andrew Garfield, Spider-Man in the court of Doom, you know, or like the Duke of Spider Island, or like the ruler of Spider Island or some shit. Chef's kiss, dude. Chef's kiss. Nah? What do you mean, nah? What do you mean? Also, the desk is like a prop. It's nice because I can be more emotive. What do you mean? Imagine if Secret Wars ended in a cliffhanger. Yeah, that'd be tight. Tight. Oh, because his name's Garfield. Yeah, lasagna jokes make more sense now. Evil Toby is better. So it's hard to do Evil Toby, though, when you want him to be a sympathetic character when his universe dies. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's sympathetic Toby. No, I think Toby, Toby's already had his stint of being evil and all that. Yeah, he's a Bully Maguire. Marvel needs more people like Josh to develop plots for movies. Yeah, I mean, you would think that some of them would cook like this, but the Russos gotta know. The Russos gotta know it's time to show up big and do some nerdy things. But sympathetic Toby dies at the beginning of Doomsday. Yes, he does, but he's alive though. He's dead, but then he's not dead. It's like he's dead. Oh, he's not dead. He's dead. Oh, he's not dead. He's not dead, but he's dead. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, I heard one of the last things he says. He's like spiraling. It's like him and Wolverine are like spiraling into the incursion, like the Earth's like exploding. And he's spiraling in there, and he's like, "Can't be. How does my wiener look from this angle? Can't be. Don't look at my wiener." They did a lot of takes. I'm not sure which one they'll use, but it's a nice little Easter egg. Congratulations, John. Dying has no meaning anymore. Remember, I already forgot. I would love to see Andrew as Spider Carnage. That would be cool. I'm just kind of wondering why Spider-Man cries in every movie. Probably because he's a soy boy little bitch. Or just, he's in touch with his feelings. You know, he's just in touch with his feelings. All right, that's enough of that. All right, everybody shut your mouths when you're talking to me. Chat, let me ask you a question here. Have I ever in my life took one little thing, it's a tiny little thing that a scooper teased out and extrapolated way too much of a theory, an idea, a concept of what it could mean? I don't think I've ever done this before, but I'm going to do it now. Yeah, I've never done that. Good. Yeah, I didn't think so. You only do that always? What? Let me ask you a follow-up question, though. How many of those have I actually ended up being right about? Huh? And the answer is at least one. Oh, feeling Ricky Ross on this one. 60% of the time it works every time? Absolutely. Okay. All right. So there was a tease made by an insider, and it's the vague post king himself, Alex Perez. Okay. I'll pull it up for you. I'll pull up what the thing was. And this singular thing that he said here caused May to go on a complete terror of speculation. And I now know why Sadie Sink's Jean Grey is actually acting evil in Spider-Man Brand New Day. And I know what kind of direction they're going to take Jean Grey's and do stuff with her and everything like that. So shut up, listen. So here's what Alex posted. He said, one more before the night's over. And he posted 2 GIFs side by side. One, Sadie Sink saying, what am I supposed to do with that? And I think that's just meant to just be like, it's Sadie Sink, you know, and Jean Grey. The other GIF was when Darth Vader realizes that Luke Skywalker has a sister. And it's a big deal. He's like, sister? And he like finds out about it or whatever. And like Luke's like, oh shit, like it wasn't good. So what could this mean? Well, I think the obvious implication here is that they're going to do Sadie Sink Jean Grey's sister as a part of DOS movie. Now, how many of you know about Sarah Summers? Really not a very known about character. Interestingly, though, a character Chris Claremont actually just brought back to life recently. And there's something here, chat. There's something here. There's something that I think reveals the way in which Marvel is cooking with the Jean Grey character, okay? So, yeah, Sarah, very unknown character. Now, let me take you through this and explain how I think this is going to potentially set up what they're doing with her in the movie and then in the future. You got to remember that this period in comics was incredibly convoluted. There were a lot of things that Claremont wanted to do with characters that editorial was not down with. There were a lot of like different debates and things that were going on. Like, for instance, do you guys know about the retcon of Jean Grey that happened in Fantastic Four comics that explained that she was actually in a cocoon the whole time, and the Dark Phoenix that killed the entire galaxy and did all that fucked up shit was actually just Dark Phoenix acting as though it was inside of Jean Grey, but it was just Dark Phoenix? Did you know that? Yeah, not a lot of people know that because it's stupid as hell. Also, everything that happened with Madeline Pryor, when it originally happened about 3 years after the Dark Phoenix thing and everybody just thought Jean was dead, Madeline Pryor was never intended to be a clone of Jean Grey. Claremont did not create her to be a clone of Jean Grey. He's on record about this. He talked about this. She was actually meant to just be this 1 in a million chick that looked exactly like fucking Jean Grey. They later retconned that and make it so that she's the clone. They do all the stuff with Sinister and Nathaniel Richards. So it's a big mess. It's a big mess, okay? But more importantly to Sarah, okay? Sarah is revealed to be the sister of Jean. She is a mutant rights activist, okay? And she's literally seen on TV. This is like after Jean wakes up and is alive, but Jean doesn't come into the fray because she's just doesn't, you know, she's like scared or whatever, doesn't want to be persecuted. She sees her sister and her family on TV, and they're trying to stand up for mutant rights or whatever. Jean's like, oh no, she's going to be in trouble now. I got to go try to help her. They arrive at her old house. The house literally blows up, dude. She like goes up, boom, just an explosion, the whole thing. And for the longest time, it was believed that Sarah had died then. And it was believed that Sarah Grey. What am I saying? Sarah Summers? Shut your mouth when you're talking to me. Yeah, so Sarah is presumed dead. Technically, she's actually not dead. She is she's like with the phalanx, like she's mind melded into the phalanx, but attains her own individuality. What was I saying? Sarah Summers? Sarah Grey. I meant that the whole time. Just think that I said Sarah Grey the whole time. Duh. Okay, anyway, let's go back to this. So Sarah's introduced and killed almost instantaneously, And it's almost like they wanted to fridge her family to bring Jean back into the fold or whatever. So that's one aspect of this. There's actually more that I want to say about that. But let's now think about the actual Brand New Day movie. I said Sara Lee. That's good ice cream. So listen, let's think about the actual Brand New Day movie. One of the big questions that folks have, one of the big kind of hangups they have with her being Jean Grey, is that she seems like she's evil in the movie. Like, she literally seems like she's evil. She's doing bad stuff. She's talking to other people, possessing other people. She tells Peter, like, maybe I'll go find MJ. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll see if she's doing okay. And that's like a threat, right? So the question is, like, what the hell? Why would Jean Grey be acting like this? Why would she be so far off the rails? Why would she be being so violent? And why is Damage Control after her? And why does she seem to be wanting to antagonize Damage Control? Well, I think there's a couple of different ways they could do this. They could make Sarah Grey alive and being captured by Damage Control. And it's possible that maybe they found out that this family had psychic abilities and they captured her, but they couldn't capture Jean. That's one way. Or, and this would be, I guess, a little bit closer to what happened in the comics, maybe Sarah is killed. Maybe Sarah Grey is killed by Damage Control or killed by somebody connected to Damage Control that's a radical, that's radically anti-mutant. Okay? So I think that's interesting. And, you know, look, I have no idea what Alex means by this, right? He is the vague post king, okay? But because we're talking about this new version of Jean Grey, and they probably want to do something different than what they've done with Jeans in the past, it's very possible that they're going to utilize the Sarah Grey character and her being some kind of activist for mutants or an activist for enhanced individuals or something. They could go that route. But here's where it gets even crazier, because they actually, this isn't the first time, or this wouldn't be the last time, rather, that Marvel would introduce family members and then kill them off immediately. They actually do it again with Jean. So they do it again where she has another sister and another brother, I believe, and I don't even remember their names, but they're like introduced and killed off in like a couple of panels later. They are killed, I believe, by the Shi'ar or another group of beings off-world. This happens after the Dark Phoenix thing, and essentially they want to kill off everybody that is of the Grey bloodline because they don't want any Phoenix Force hosts, okay? So later on, Jean has even more family members that are introduced and slaughtered by aliens that are hunting down her bloodline, okay? Now, think about this. As we look at the next saga, it seems like they want to do Apocalypse. They want to do Sinister. Sadie as Jean basically signals that Jean is a massive part of what they want to do. This has already been corroborated by other leakers and scoopers where they're like, yeah, she's the focus of the next saga, et cetera, et cetera. You gotta, like, I can see a scenario here in which they're building the steps for the audience to come to understand how and why her specific bloodline, her family, and also Scott, it's also Scott, because it's the Summers bloodline, and it is the Grey bloodline, because two children that she has in alternate futures, one is Cable, and then one is Rachel. They are incredibly powerful, and Rachel is like really connected to the Phoenix Force. She has a propensity to use the Phoenix Force powers. So, you know, just think about it. They've decided that Jean Grey is their next RDJ. Okay, they've decided that they want to do something crazy with Jean Grey in Secret Wars, and I think potentially even in Doomsday. I just made a video maybe last week, the end of last week, talking about Famke, her returning as Phoenix. I think they're gonna put the Phoenix back on the shelf as a really cool Marvel concept after fucking up Dark Phoenix twice with the Fox movies. Like, I think Kevin has a plan to utilize Phoenix, but do it differently. You can't just repeat Dark Phoenix. You got to do it differently. Right? So I think this is what we could be looking at here, is a way to set up this new Jean and there's this tragedy that strikes. It would perfectly explain why she's going full dark side Phoenix after losing her sister or something like that, right? And the Dark Phoenix is maybe toying with her and trying to manipulate her, would line up to Peter Parker. I mean, dude, I even thought about how in the comics, Jean survives in a cocoon and we see Peter in a web cocoon. And I'm like, I don't think they're going to like do that. But like, what if they do some cocoon ass shit with Sadie's Jean? That would be weird, but it also thematically could work. It just seems like they really do want Phoenix to be cool again. And I think one of the ways you do that in X-Men 97 also helps to set this up too, is you have Sinister, you have other people, you have Apocalypse perhaps, seeing the value of the Gray bloodline and of the Summers bloodline. And then in that next saga, that could be a big focus of what is going on, you know? And I think it could work. I think it could be really, really cool. And I think maybe that's why Alex posted that. So yeah, totally bizarre, totally crazy, way too speculative tangent just based off of a single tease from Alex Perez. But he did post Sadie. He did post Sister. There's definitely something there when you look into the comic books. And I also think it's a nice way to set things up for the emphasis on her and her bloodline and her family and Scott in the Mutant Saga. What do you guys think? Chat, what do you think? What do you think? Way too crazy? Did I do it again? Did I go too crazy again? Hartnett is tapped for Sinister currently. Well, I mean, that's the rumor. I haven't heard anything about that. I mean, I think he'd do well, but I don't know. I don't know if that's real. It's wild, but I love it. Oh, hell yeah. They've tried Phoenix a few times and it didn't work. The bad taste is still there. Why try again? Because Phoenix is awesome. Like, you have one of two choices. One is to accept reality as you've said it. And I think that you're not wrong. They fucked it up twice, right? So your choice is either completely ignore that part of the mythos or try to fix it. Try to do it differently. And so I actually think that between Brand New Day and Doomsday, you have an opportunity to like make Dark Phoenix and make Phoenix cool again. And then have it be a lingering threat in the next saga. Because the elements I'm talking about are not just repeating the Dark Phoenix story, right? If they planned on just repeating Dark Phoenix story, I would agree with you wholeheartedly. I'd be like, that's stupid. But nah, that's not what they're doing. What if she accidentally killed her sister because of the Phoenix? You could see that, but I mean, I don't know. Do they really want to do that? That feels a little bit too much like what they do with the Fox movies. I feel like you need a sympathetic Jean. So I think this is a better way to do it. But we see the prison scene where someone in the chair and we assumed it's Jean. Maybe it's Sarah. It could be that. Yeah, it could be that. There was a rumor that there was an accident where her sister died and Damage Control blames Jean back when the Jean thing just came out. Wow, interesting. Send that leak to me, actually. Yeah, maybe that was real, but maybe it's like she blames Damage Control blames her. That could explain it, yeah. They just can't rush Phoenix in one movie. Yeah, no, definitely not, man. I don't think she's going Phoenix Force in Brand New Day. It's more like the Dark Phoenix is tempting her and she's like maybe going a little dark, because before Jean goes full on Dark Phoenix, she's just Jean and the Phoenix is kind of like pushing her over the edge a couple of times, like just pushing her. Is this a heavy tee? I'm not sure. I guess it is. Yeah, it feels heavy. Yeah. Yeah, I had to get some new shirts because I need the 2XLs, you know? I still had some larges and some XLs. Some XLs I can still wear comfortably, but I like the 2XL, bruh. You know what I mean? Like, just let me live in my 2XL. Will Mystique and Azazel confirm Nightcrawler could be the son of the new X-Men? What? John Hamm for Mr. Sinister? That would be cool, dude. That would be really cool, actually. I think John Hamm could do a bang-up job. Hell yeah. No short on this one. We'll end that one there. No short on that one. Josh has to shave his head if Sadie is not Jean. I'm not even going to make that bet, but she's Jean, bruh. I don't know what to tell you. Perfect time to do the picture that you emailed me? Let me look. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Oh, here you are. You think that poster is real? I don't think that's real, brother. Yeah, I definitely don't think that's real, dude. I see that it came from an account, but like I'm telling you, that's not. I don't think that's real, dude. Yeah, it could be real. It could be real. I don't think that's real though. If that was real and it was released at an official event or something like that, don't you think more accounts would be posting about it? Show on stream or post on the Discord? Yeah, he can post on the Discord. Like, I've seen that poster before. It's like got Grey Hulk in the center. Yeah, I don't think that's real, bud. I mean, I can be wrong, but... Was the Ghost Rider clip real? Hard to say. So, if anything, that's actually just a screenshot that somebody took and used AI to animate, but I'm not sure. My uncle works for Marvel, and he told me it's real. Oh, okay, cool. What if there's two Jeans, one Phoenix and one normal? Phoenix killed her sister, and the normal one is captured by damage control. Yeah, I mean, I thought about that too, because if you get into that weird shit with the cocoon, what if Jean the whole time is actually in a cocoon? And what if this is just Phoenix, like, manifest in a similar body? That would be crazy. Martian Manhunter and Man of Tomorrow, we are saved. Yeah. Yeah, it's too bad about the DCU, huh? Had a good run, though. Wait, no, it didn't. Fuck you, goon. It's funny watching Blue Minutes retweet Shine like they're different people. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. What if Sadie is Madeline Pryor, not Jean? Maybe. I don't see it. I don't see it. Maybe, though. My dad is Kevin Feige, and he said, nah, big dog. Oh, shit. Sorry, big dog. Dupe, yeah, I would love some Barons, man. I'd love some Barons and some people on Battleworld. I think you're going to get it. That's why we need 2 movies, though. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Damn, sucks to suck. Wait, what? Martian Manhunger, more like it. Yeah. I think you missed my super about Shine Wanda tweet, but maybe I misread it. Wait, was it real? I thought you were saying Sarah Gray for some reason. Yeah, I don't know what that means, bud. Is Loki going to get his time to shine? No. Stop dumbing down media for normies. I agree. Catching up on the replay. Appreciate you. Oh, okay. Dub Nintendo with a 10 spot. Appreciate that. Says I found it. Shine tweeted 6 days ago. Not only will Elizabeth Olsen, Wanda Maximoff return, she's also set to be one of the main leads and villains of the Mutant Saga. Whoa! That's really cool. Can you send me a link to that tweet? Because I kind of want to do a little video about that or add that to another video. Wow, that's awesome. Thanks, bud. Appreciate the 10, too. Mo from the Foe says, haven't caught a stream in a while. I come back and Josh is jacked. What happened? Hope all has been well, brother. Much love. Yeah, we're working a little bit. You know, we're working a little bit. We lift a couple heavy things here and there, and, you know, Guatemalan steroids, you know. Right into your ass. VTJ Production says, I've been blue in the face for 3 years now in your streams, preaching Fassbender and McAvoy as Chuck and Eric Charles can remember everything from Fox and Secret Wars. I think you have been in here talking a lot about that, and I can't believe that now I'm on board. We've come full circle. Now I'm on board. You know? What a world. What a world. It's all good news. All the Fox casting. Anya is Magic, one of the favorites, and the only one's a copy for 616. I agree. I agree. Rossi, thank you for a gifted membership, man. I really appreciate it. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get on out of here. Remember, tonight, turn that up a little bit. Oh, remember, tonight, we're doing a watch party for X-Men 97. And I'm going to be drunk. I'll see you then. 7:30 p.m. As I always say, I hope you, that's right, you, are having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video. Rossi, I did read that shit. I don't know who she is, but I assume it's gross. Is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? Oh man, another happy landing. Had some good rumor talks, had some good excitement. We kept it chill, didn't even complain about James Gunn that much. A little bit here, a little bit there, but nothing crazy, you know? All is well in the Nerdverse. Many amazing things on the way, including X-Men 97 tonight. Oh, baby, I'm excited. Oh, hell yeah. Can't wait for that shit. end of this month, we get Spider-Man's and we get San Diego Comic-Con. Unbelievable. And a lot of 11th edition Warhammer coming up too. I know you're excited about it. Shut up and get into Warhammer. It's not it's mandatory. Mandatory. Get into it. It's mandatory Warhammer. It'll be good for you. All right, everybody, I'm out of here. Do me a favor on your way out. Actually, make it two. Open up your third eye and wash out your stinky, stinky butt. Oh.